Of the Edgenuity lesson, Introductions to Circles. This lesson has a lot of definitions, so I thought I would just go over them one more time. Example 1 says, describe the following as a chord, secant, tangent, diameter, or radius. So looking at this first circle, it's a segment. It has endpoints on both parts of the circle, or excuse me, the endpoints are on the side of the circle. Because this is going through the center, this is a diameter. It also is a chord because it has endpoints on the side of the circle, like I said, but because it goes through that center, it is the diameter. Okay, looking at the next one, we have a line going through the circle. So it intersects our circle at D and E. When you have a line that goes through a circle like this, it's called a secant. To be a secant, it has to be a line or a ray. On this one, FG, it's a segment. The endpoints are on the side of the circle. That's a chord. This one here, we have a segment that starts at the center C and goes to the side of the circle. That's called the radius. And this last one here, we have a line again, but see how it only touches the circle on one spot? It only has one intersection point. That's called a tangent line. And point J here, where it is intersecting the circle, that's called the point of tangency. Okay, so on our next example, it says find the measure of each arc. So if you have an angle whose vertex is the center, it's called a central angle. So angle ACB here, since its vertex is the center, it's a central angle. And the way it works is the measure of the central angle is the same as the measure of the arc that it creates. So if ACB is 96 degrees, the measure of arc AB is also 96 degrees. So looking at the next one, the first thing we have to find is the measure of arc MN. So that's this one here. So the central angle is 70 degrees. Since it's coming from the center, the arc is exactly what's on the inside there, so 70 degrees. Then we need to find the measure of arc MPN. So when they use 3 letters like this, they're talking about a major arc. So we wouldn't just go from M to N again. We have to start at M, touch P, and then go to N. So when you have a major arc like that, it's always greater than 180 degrees. So there are 360 degrees in this circle. So an entire circle is 360 degrees. So the green part is everything except for what I've highlighted pink. So if the whole thing is 360 and we've used up 70 here, you can just do 360 minus the 70 and you'll get 290 degrees. So this whole green arc there is 290 degrees. Last, we have the measure of arc NLP. So you'll notice that segment NP, this chord, it goes through the center of the circle, which makes it actually a diameter. So we're taking that circle and cutting it perfectly in half. So if the whole thing is 360 degrees and I cut it in half, half of that is 180 degrees. Okay, so the next one. First we have to find the measure of arc GE. So if this part, I know it's kind of hard to see, this says 40 degrees and that says 80 degrees. So if this is 40 and this is 80, the whole thing, you just add them together, that's 120 degrees. Now let's look at GEF. So start at G, touch E, and finish at F. Okay, so this one has the 40, the 80, and then also this part here is 110 degrees. So we already know this is 120. If I add 110 onto that, that'll give me 230 degrees. Next, GF. Okay, so again, we know there's 360 degrees in a circle. If this whole pink part is 230, we can just do 360 minus the 230, and GF there, the measure of arc GF, will be 130 degrees. Okay, last one. This one says segment ST is a diameter, so that's giving us a clue. We know that this segment here is cutting our circle in half, and we are going to figure out what X is, the value of X. So if we're cutting it perfectly in half, that means this whole thing has to be 180 degrees. Okay, so semicircles are always 180 degrees. So if I added up these three arcs, they have to add up to 180 degrees. So if I combine my like terms, 2x plus 3x is 5x, plus another 3x is 8x. 8 minus 14 minus 14. So let's see here. 8 minus 14 is negative 6. Minus 14 more is negative 20. So then we just solve like normal. So X would be 25.